level. This is why. Okay, guys, we're back with another video about the House settlement. Yesterday, I told you what I was hearing, what guys within our company are hearing is that this will be settled in the next week or two, but it was a little bit general, right? It was a little bit vague. Well, a lot of information has come out this morning and last night that we have to catch up on. And again, I'm worried. I'm starting to think that we could see this go to trial, and ultimately, who knows what that means. So pay attention to this. We're going to get right into it right away. Scan the QR code if you need help in recruiting. Subscribe to our videos. Like the videos to help us in the algorithm. But let's get right into it because, again, I think the NCAA is walking a very, very tight rope with this. And I don't know. A lot of reactions from this are not good. They're thinking that the judge is going to say, we're going to trial after this is what the NCAA has come up with. In the counter to Judge Wilken saying, we need to grandfather these players in, and we need to maybe slow down the implementation of the roster size changes. Wait till you see this. All right, so I'm pulling it up right here. Now, okay, let's zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see this better. Latest on the House settlements roster limits. The parties are expected to file a revised plan tonight to allow schools to voluntarily grandfather in current athletes. Voluntarily. Schools can voluntarily grandfather in current athletes? Remember that. Because again, the judge's whole point was, well, current athletes need to be protected. Well, if the schools have the option to grandfather them in, they don't have any protection, right? Next, and athletes can take the grandfather status that is voluntarily given to them by the schools they're currently at to other schools. Now, if they're grandfathered in, if they are given the voluntary grandfathering in, then why are they going to a different school? If they are grandfathered in at their current school, why are they leaving? It gets even more ridiculous. Now we await Judge Wilken's reaction. So, Jeff Wood, this judge is going to send them to lawsuit and risk bankrupting the NCAA. Now, the question is, could this be what the Power Four conferences are betting on? Right? So, first reaction is, this isn't a good counter at all. Next, as predicted, they're messing this up with a dumb proposal. This isn't hard. Either delay roster limit implementations to 2030, or all athletes on 24 to 25 rosters don't count towards limits. Anyone cut before today gets a year of eligibility. Increase scholarship numbers now. This seems pretty reasonable, right? Like, 3 out of 4 of these, or 3, they all seem pretty reasonable, right? Because you had a lot of guys get cut before today because everyone thought this was happening. Schools thought, hey, we're going to 34-man roster. And again, across all college sports, roster spots are getting cut. So a lot of players were cut. So those guys are owed something, like a year of eligibility, because they got cut, and now the changes may not even be going through or exactly in the way that schools thought so. Increased scholarship numbers. Yeah, everyone agrees with that. So let's keep going through this. So they've decided to play chicken with a federal judge. Cool. How does voluntary eliminate harm for class members? Voluntary grandfathering is not what the NCAA should have considered, but a 2-year mandatory phase-in of roster caps beginning with the high school class 2027. You're noticing a pattern. Everybody's like, what? What is it? How does this make sense? Why would anybody do this? How does this address the judge's order? Voluntary? How many of the Power Fours will voluntarily do this? One made cuts yesterday saying they aren't grandfathering, and cuts are now due to budget. How does taking grandfather status help? Especially if not interested in transferring. Like I told you guys, I've talked to multiple Power Four coaches that have told me the exact same thing that Beauty Results PR is saying here. Beauty Results PR must be really dialed in to the sports world and college baseball in particular. But I've heard this exact same thing. Like, I've heard from multiple coaches saying, even if players are grandfathered in, our school's going to say, no, you need to have 34 guys on the roster, and that you need to cut them due to budget. Like, you don't have the budget to carry that many players. So that's a real thing. I've heard that. Jay Wesley, like a guy, I want you. I'm reading all of these because, guys, this is how stupid of a proposal this is from NCAA. To repeat, voluntary grandfathering is complete and total nonsense. Judge Wilken will punt that idea to the moon. So glad there's at least one grown up in the room. What does this mean? This could very well mean this thing could go to trial, right? This thing could literally go to trial, and then who knows how long that will last. Now, I think hopefully, I think it's pretty clear based on the reactions, in my opinion, that Judge Wilken is going to shoot this down. I mean, this is not going to meet the standards that she wants in the case of protecting the student athletes. Because again, if it's a voluntary decision by the schools, then like the kids are not protected. The players that are on campus right now are not protected because their school could say, no, we're not doing it. So how does that make any sense? Hopefully she's going to say, no, we're not doing that. Make a new proposal and don't make it like that. Right? Hopefully it's not like, hey, we're going to trial. You know, maybe it'll make her angry enough that that's what she's going to say. But hopefully she's going to say, all right, that nice try. That was ridiculous. Make me a better offer. Make us a better proposal that actually protects student athletes. And I think in the tweets I was reading, guys, there's a lot of, there's a few pretty good proposals there. But that's not a good sign. This is not a good sign. The fact that the NCAA, and again, one person in the comments said, is the NCAA, maybe this has been the goal all along from the Power Four conferences, is they want the judge to take it to trial and bankrupt the NCAA, right? Because again, remember, the settlement already pays out a bunch of money to the classes of former student athletes that were, I guess, injured, marginalized by not being able to monetize and make money by their name, image, likeness. So if it goes to trial, that becomes negotiable, right? That all of a sudden the court costs obviously the court costs are going to go way up. But what if all of a sudden the judge says, you know what, those guys deserve more money than what you're offering? So who knows what's going on? But this proposal seems just like not serious at all. I will keep you guys updated as this continues to develop. I'm hoping this does not put a big delay on what I was hearing up until yesterday could it be done in a week or two, right? And really the thought was they're about to bring their proposal back to the judge, and everyone kind of thought that the proposal would be a pretty serious one. This doesn't have the looks of that. We will keep you updated. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? What are your concerns? If you're a parent out there or a player, ask your questions in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them as best as I can.